Here is a Lakewood branded 6-inch desk fan. This is the Lakewood 6-inch desk fan model 6/DSK. So there's the box fan that's model 12/PBX. So what is PBX an abbreviation for? If this is DSK, which I would imagine is an abbreviation for desk, I highly doubt that the PBX is just random numbers. Any ideas on what the PBX stands for? It's dated 04/2002, which is about right. This is a very typical looking basic desk fan from the era. Although I would have thought that high stop would date back to the 90s. I didn't realize that high stop went into the 2000s. It was made in China. Manufactured in China for Lakewood Engineering and Manufacturing Company. 0.4 amps, 15 watts. These things are so inefficient and have such a terrible power factor. It amazes me that these are still allowed to be sold like this. So this is, I would guess, what came right after this, because this has got to be a 90s era. Does it have a date code? I don't see one. But probably this, and then this came out shortly after to replace it. I don't know what high stop would have been there. Quite possibly something similar to that? I'm not sure. That high stop is totally different, so I can't really compare the two in terms of what would have been period correct. But I don't think so that whole thing would have fit there without being comically small, so I don't know. It kind of stinks that it's missing, but at least the fan is still present. So this was $3. Picked it up today, and the sticker still does not come off, even though it's only been on there for less than 12 hours. That's great. It's a 2-speed with the sliding switch. I don't know what the OEM of this is, but it's the same OEM that made this fan for like 50 different brands in the early 2000s and late 90s. I have a actually, you know what, I thought this might have been when I first got it. I saw it. I thought that it might be oh, the cord is stuck. I thought it might be a Breezin, like this one, because it's pretty much the same thing as well. I mean, it's obviously the same fan. This was the first fan I ever had, which is also obviously the same fan. This one is from '98, and like many of the fans I had during the era, I had to indicate that it was mine. So this design was used for quite a few years, and it lasted well into the 2000s. There quite possibly are still some fans today that use a very similar, not the same design. And aside from the horrible power factor and low efficiency from the basic C-frame shaded pole motor, yeah, it's not a bad design. It moves an okay amount of air with a reasonable amount of noise. At least they usually do anyways. I expect this one to be the same, but we're going to go ahead and find out now. The cord is very poorly tied up, but at least it was tied up, makes it easier to carry it through the store. It's all twisted up here. It's annoying. It's a nice flexible cord though. It's not stiff, doesn't have a memory. It is a polarized plug, but it's non-fused. This is pre-fuse era. Switch it off. Something is grabbing, I guess it's that. It's got one foot left in the front, which almost looks like it might be kind of a suction cup type thing. The other one's missing, and then it's just two plastic studs in the back, which absolutely could scratch softer surfaces. Bearings don't seem too free in this at all. Let's see if it runs. I have a suspicion it might not. So we are testing at 118.9 volts. Here we go. We'll start with the low, which is the slower speed. Yep, it's locked. How about the high? Yep, the high is locked as well. On the low, it is consuming 0.18 amps and 13 the watts in locked rotor. On high, 18 the watts and 0.26 amps with a power factor of 0.55 and 0.6. Okay, so I suspect, you know what's amazing to me is that the switch was, oh, you know what, it might run. Is there something else wrong with it? The switch was in the low position, so it would lead me to believe that somebody tried this, oh it doesn't work, and then just blasted it out to the sale floor anyways. Or a customer, or not a customer, a donationer person tried it and, oh it doesn't work, perfect, let's donate to the OK Will. Bearings are very dry. Is barely operating. It's only moving a couple hundred RPM. That was in the higher speed. This is on the lower speed. The blade is of very poor quality. Look at how out of clock it is. That is abysmal. That's not even like a front to back issue. That's a height from the center of the hub issue. Wow. This thing's going to shake like crazy. That's not good. This is just like dried up, gummed up oil. That's most likely what the problem is right now. It's already starting to shake a little bit. The heat from the motor should get it going in just a minute or two. These motors have next to no torque, so just the slightest amount of friction from the dried up oil is going to prevent it from getting up to speed. Actually, it's not out of balance in the slightest. What the heck? It's hardly out of balance at all. I wouldn't even try to balance this. It's in such a good balance. How the heck could that be? Still picking up speed. Well, there's really no point in running it like this. It's working. Needs some service, but it does work. And it's reasonably quiet and moves enough air. If you're sitting right in front of it, it'll give you a nice breeze. I really wish this had the center badge, but otherwise this is in pretty good condition. If anybody knows what that center badge would have looked like, let me know.